Okay, I guess I'll get started right now. So thank you all for coming and welcome to our first traffic calming outreach meeting. We're going to be focusing on Bluebell Drive, Heather Lane, and Lilac Avenue. But first, before we start, I want to quickly introduce myself and my team. I'm Christina Mai, and I'm the new project manager for this traffic calming project. We have Sergio, who's our engineering admin, and he will assist as our moderator. And we also have a few staff members present who will be joining and jotting down any questions that you may have, especially during the breakout sessions. And they're Joanna, Roberto, Gabriel, and JT. Um, and I also want to let you know that we will be recording this presentation and posting it on our website. And the website link will be on the last slide along with my contact information. Please save your questions until the end of the presentation. And as I mentioned earlier, please send your contact information to Sergio privately in the chat, and we'll just need your name, address, email, and phone number so we can reach out to you. So Sergio, you can go to the next slide now. For the objective of this meeting, we're going to be talking about the history of traffic calming, the plans for the three streets, Bluebell Drive, Heather Lane, and Lilac Avenue. Then we're going to be splitting up into different breakout rooms, depending on how many participants there are, and then discussing our ideas. It's going to be very important that you come back and re-enter the main room after we split up into these breakout rooms. We're going to be needing volunteers to serve as our neighborhood captain, which I'll go into a bit more detail or go into more details in a bit. But if you need to leave early and would like to volunteer, please leave your contact info and say that you do want to volunteer and help us collect names. And Sergio will stay in the main room and will record everything on a spreadsheet. You're also welcome to email me, and my email is at the end of the PowerPoint slide, and that PowerPoint will be posted on the website. And the website link will be posted at the end of this PowerPoint presentation. So after that, we're going to be going over the next steps to getting this project approved. Sergio, you can go to the next slide. So what is traffic calming? Traffic calming projects are intended to help reduce speeds and cut through traffic in residential neighborhoods. Each neighborhood is different, so we can't apply the same devices to all the streets. Like we can't add speed humps everywhere. And there's different criteria for getting the devices installed. Next slide. Can you go to the next slide, please? So what is the traffic calming program? The traffic calming program was first approved by council in 2002 until it was suspended in 2009 due to funding constraints and limited resources. In 2020, the program was implemented again, and the 2020 program was created per City Council's direction to be more efficient, comprehensive, and data-driven and a data-driven process to help improve the quality of life in residential neighborhoods by reducing cut-through traffic and speeding. A priority list for implementing traffic calming devices is included in this program. And each year we will go down the list to see which new traffic calming devices we should install on each street. And as I mentioned earlier, each street is different and may need a different device installed. The streets were ranked based on cut-through volume, speed, accident history, fronting homes, and pedestrian generators. Fronting homes are the percentages of homes that are fronting a street. Pedestrian generators include parks, schools, and public facilities. Go to the next slide. So there are two tiers, but first, the process begins once the city receives a request from a resident to initiate a traffic study. And tier one is for traffic education, enforcement, and engineering. And this includes data collection, including traffic counts, speed surveys, collision history, and pedestrian observation. And we could also do targeted enforcement, improving sight distances by trimming, landscaping, and adding additional signage, additional striping or pavement markings, installing a radar speed trailer, and educating the public. But if tier one doesn't give us the desired effects, then we would move to tier two, which is the neighborhood traffic calming program, which is pretty much this program or this project that we're doing. If you go to the next slide. Now for the project history, some of you did contact us to address speeding concerns on Bluebell Drive and in the vicinity, but the main focus seemed to be on Bluebell Drive. The existing speed limit is 25 miles per hour, and we found that on the traffic calming priority list, it ranks number 4. All for tier one, we started by adding bike buffers and narrowing the lane to 11 feet. And then we calculated the speeds before and after these markings were installed. In August 2023, we found the speed to be 40 miles per hour. And then after it dropped down to 35 miles per hour to address since the speed is still a bit high, we decided to move into tier two, which, as I said earlier, it's this project. So, Sergio, can you go to the next slide, please? We started out designing traffic circles, but then they were rejected by the Livermore Fire Department. So now our new plan is to install speed cushions that they approved of some raised crosswalks, and then to relocate the existing radar speed feedback sign. Can you go to the next slide again? Okay, so some of you, or I guess all of you, should have received a notice that looks like what's shown on this slide, and it includes both the letter and the conceptual exhibit. Sergio, if you click on that link, here's a zoomed in image of what the conceptual exhibit looks like. We did make some slight changes to it. We just shifted the raised crosswalks a bit, but it looks very similar to what you received at home. The dashed blue lines represent the speed cushions. We try to place them about 250 to 500 feet apart and away from driveways and windows. We also have the raised crosswalks, which have the one call out next to them. So, for example, there's one near Hollyhock Street. There's another near Lilac Avenue. Yeah, it'd probably be great if we can zoom in a bit more. And then if you scroll down, uh, all the way down, there's one near Las Flores. We also have some existing speed feedback radar signs, like there's one near the church and that has a 6 next to it. If you scroll up a little bit more, it's on the right side there. And then we also have one that's closer to the top. Yeah, there's one there on Marigold. And then we're going to be shifting those all the way to the north part of this area. So it'll be north of Capricornus Avenue, designated by the 7s. And the reason why we're moving it there is because those speed cushions should already address the speeding concerns, and it would be redundant to have both of them next to each other. And then the red dots here just represent the stop signs. Okay, so we can go back to the slides and we can go to the next page. So what's next? We'll need to identify multiple neighborhood captains since the site is really big, as you can see on the right, that the boundary is huge. And the captain and working group will have to gather signatures for 2 petitions. And the petitions should include the names, addresses, email, and phone number. For the first petition, 60% of the households within the neighborhood boundary has to sign the petition for the project to move forward. And this is really important, and we definitely need your help to get all these signatures, because if we don't get enough of them, then we won't be able to install the speed cushions at all. And as I mentioned earlier, in order for the speed cushions to be effective, there has to be multiple speed cushions placed evenly on the street. So we can't just have one, and just because they're the only neighbors that approved of as the speed cushion and are adjacent to it. And we calculated 1,164 households in this boundary. So that equates to roughly 699 households that will have to be split up amongst the different captains. And even though we do require 699 signatures, more is typically better. Petition 2 is very important, and we recommend that you do collect the signatures there first. So 100% of the households next to a proposed traffic calming device has to approve the installation of the device. So we recommend that you go to those houses that are adjacent to the device first. Because if they reject the proposal, then we're going to have to find another location for the speed cushions and then have those new households approve of them. And it's important that when you go door to door or ask your neighbors, you give them a full details about what this project entails, like what they should expect and what the speed cushions are and the pros and cons of it. And then it would be great if you can send us the petition by the completed petition with all the signatures to city staff by Friday, January 16th, 2026. And you can scan it and email it to me. My email is at the end of the presentation, or you could bring them in person to City Hall. And again, it's better if you send this as soon as possible, just so we can continue to get the design going. So if you go to the next slide. So during the breakout rooms, feel free to share your comments and concerns. And then we're going to have city staff in each of the rooms taking notes. And as I said in the beginning, please remember to return to the main meeting room after the breakout session so we can assign who's going to be doing what. And if you do have to leave early and would like to volunteer, please notify Sergio so you can send him a private message. And we'll be posting the PowerPoint on the website after the meeting is over. Um, and the website will be posted in the chat. And so we have 17 participants. Okay, I guess we wouldn't need to have all the breakout rooms since we just have 17 people here, so we could just stay in this main room then. We'll give up to, I guess, so does anyone have any comments or concerns?
Hi, I
Hi.
do. My name is Renee. I live at 1326 Bluebell. I'm across from Azalea Court. And I am totally for this. We've got 6 children in a courtyard that constantly, and dogs too, that deal with the drama of the traffic issues. So how do I become, because I know there'll be a speed bump in our area, how do I become a person who would get people to sign the petition?
We have a sign up sheet, so Sergio will start inputting everyone's information on there. You can pick what streets you want to go door to door on to collect all the signatures.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. Yes. Robert C. Boris Jr. You're muted. You're still muted. Oh. Um, I think you're gonna have to click on the audio button on the bottom left because we can't. Okay.
I should be unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Robert Boris, Chet Miller, and Phil Asia. And before they speak, I just wanted to mention a threshold issue here. Noticeably absent from your addresses or locations is Sunflower Court, which is the major thoroughfare through this entire tract here. I'm a real estate lawyer, and it's outrageous. They're going 50 miles an hour and whatnot. It's a shortcut for people wanting to get off of 580 to beat a little bit of traffic on their way out to Tracy. But Sunflower, beginning at Bluebell Drive and then going all the way down to almost Vasco, is become a raceway. And I'll let Chet take it from here. Go ahead, Chet.
There's one stop sign, and what they do is they go from Bluebell Drive to the stop sign, bad out of heck, and they have a silencer wall at the trailer park across from them, and they speed that there just so they can hear the noise. And this happens all hours of the day. It doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, or 12 o'clock at night. It's all through the day because they like to hear the exhaust and everything because it echoes loud. That includes diesels, and we have quite a few people that walk their dog and they're elderly, and somebody's going to get hit one of these days. I'm guaranteed. But yeah, that's our concern. And we've had cops out here, to make reports about it and stuff, and they've been out here writing citations and stuff. But it needs to go away. I mean, or else somebody's really going to get hurt one of these days, and really not worth that.
Oh, thanks for sharing. So we do plan to address the whole Springtown area as part of the next traffic calming project starting next year. So that is on our list.
What's your program is going to introduce more traffic to Sunflower Court down our street.
Yeah, and so Sunflower Court is on the list, so that will be addressed next year because we're aware that traffic will change after we install these speed cushions, and so we want to address the remaining areas to make sure that the whole Springtown area is covered.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Does anyone else have any?
Should we stay on this meeting then, or is it?
Yeah,
Is the meeting moot as to us?
no, wait, what do you mean?
Well, if you're only discussing Heather and Lilac and whatnot, then is our input, we
No,
we're
your input is
concerned with
still,
Sunflower.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
still very important.
yes, Azalea Court. I'm right with you, dude. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So, I'm, quite a ways up from the church on Bluebell, and we get, the 40-mile-an-hour all the time. So,
And we do need your help collecting signatures because once we install the speed cushions there or along Bluebell, then we'll start working on the other areas. So we need everyone as much help as possible.
So do you have an estimated time when you're going to look into Sunflower Court?
We're going to start the design for the whole Springtown area in 2026. So around sometime after April or May 2026 is when we'll start looking into the design.
Christina, I have a comment on your public outreach. I just wanted to reinforce that even though you may not have your street in the priority list, then please, we still want you to participate and be part of this effort because this is a collective effort. And so that will then evolve to other streets. And so so it's the city recognizes that we have a pedestrian safety issue out there. And so that's why we're implementing this great program. And so, and that means that then we have to work within some limitations, cannot do everything at one time. So I just wanted to just voice that to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. How is it identified what was needed per street? So for one question I have is, what is a speed cushion? What does it do?
A speed cushion is almost like a speed hump. It's like a gradual version of a speed bump, if you know what those are. And it has little gaps for emergency vehicles to pass through without having to slow down too much. But a standard vehicle would have to go over them.
And what's the difference between that and a raised sidewalk?
And a raised
Go back to
crosswalk.
the slides.
I
Yeah,
was
go back
gonna
to the
say,
slide.
Yeah.
go back
Sergio.
to the
Up,
pictures in the
Sergio?
slide, right? So that will show what we're talking about.
So the speed cushions aren't placed where the crosswalks are, but the raised crosswalks are, and it'll help with increasing pedestrian visibility.
Okay, and why were those types of items suggested rather than having a flashing signal at the crosswalks?
Oh, you mean an RRFB? So there are different requirements for each of these, and we found that a speed cushion is best suited for this area. So we had to do a lot of different analysis to figure out what's the best device that should be installed on the streets.
Well,
As part of the raise the crosswalk, actually, we will implement the flashing beacon at those three raise the crosswalk.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I know it's a concern for people having been hit in crosswalks. I know about the ones on Bluebell, but I live out on Capricornus, and between the first part of Bluebell and less than a mile before Capricornus, so maybe perhaps to Scenic, it's sounds like you're going to implement 10 of these items, either a raised crosswalk or a speed cushion. And that seems a bit excessive.
So
Can you go over them again, please, to make sure that we have the map where they shows what we're proposing?
yeah,
Because
Sergio.
that way we can point to it. Thank you.
So from going Bluebell to Scenic,
Mhm.
I count 10,
Wait, count 10.
either a speed bump or either a raised crosswalk or a speed cushion.
Yeah, so we're supposed to place them 250 to 500 feet per guidelines and for them to be effective.
The ones along Scenic are just speed cushions. The raised pedestrian crossings with rapid flashing beacons, there's only 3 of those.
I'm not talking about Scenic, I'm talking about Bluebell.
Oh, Bluebell? Oh, okay.
That's gonna slow
And
traffic.
so to add on to what Christina mentioned about the spacing, because for the speed cushion, if you only add one set or two sets, it won't take effect for the entire corridor. So usually it's a series of these cushions. So the effect will be the best. So that's why we propose, and also this is based on guidelines that Christina mentioned, and the guideline from other agencies and even other states, and based on the history research. And this is the best distance that will work for a corridor to calm the traffic.
Okay, well, wouldn't it be more prudent to try the raised crosswalks with the flashing signals initially? And then if it doesn't work, add in the speed cushions? Because I'm just thinking every time I leave my neighborhood, I have to go over these items 20 times.
Well, we're installing both though. So
Yeah.
there'll just be three raised cushions.
So it sounds like it's already a done deal.
Not necessarily. Yeah, because this is a good comment because right now we try to use the spacing between 250 and 300. And if a lot of residents are thinking that's too many, then we can see whether we can space those out like to 500 to the maximum. Yeah, per
Hi,
guidance.
I'm Renee, and I've lived here for 30 years. And I'm not a big, of course, I know these things will affect, which is important, the fire department. That's the most important. You have to have safety to get to people. But we also have safety in the neighborhood, and we have become a thoroughway in a high traffic area. And I live on Bluebell, and I've been here for 30 years. And I respect people having to go over a hump. But if you have children and you have grandchildren playing out in the front yard, and you want people driving 40, 50 miles an hour and not paying attention, trust me, I've had 4 accidents in the front of my house. So I personally think it's a great concept. I've been fighting this forever. And I understand it might be a little dismaying for some people, but it will slow people down to the actual limit of the neighborhood. It's a neighborhood. It's not a freaking highway. So sorry.
Right.
Do you plan on doing anything about the added time of traveling through the area?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Have you thought about the increase of traffic? How much longer it's going to take to commute somewhere, or to go shopping, or run an errand?
It'll delay it a little bit, but our main concern is to address speeding. So safety would always come first.
So to add on, first of all, the speed limit on this street is 25 miles per hour. And right now, the prevailing speed, which means 85% of the vehicles are driving under 35 miles per hour. So means everybody, or a lot of people are driving faster than they're supposed to. So we just with this speed cushion, we can lower the speed down to about 25 miles per hour, which close to the speed limit.
Okay, well, being part of the 25% who really does drive 25 miles per hour, do you think that this is actually going to cause people to stop going through our neighborhood or just slow them down?
Either
Both.
way, it's good.
So this is the idea is to slow
Slow
people
down.
down and also prevent the cut-through traffic.
Both.
And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to address the other areas in Springtown. So even if people do choose to go another route, they'll see traffic calming devices there too, if it's approved by 60% of the residents.
So I'm sorry, once again, so go about getting this approved. I know somebody has to be a representative for the neighborhood. So who do we contact? Is that in the notes?
Sergio, do you think we should just pull up the spreadsheet right now? So we can show everyone?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergio.
Okay, so I listed all the streets and the streets that are adjacent to speed cushions. And these are just suggestions, and you're welcome to sign up for any of these spots. Like if you sign up for the first one, you would be going to all the homes on Bluebell Drive that are south of Parkside Court to north of Marigold Road, and then just collecting everyone's information. So I laid out every single home that's in that project boundary. So if you want, we can start having people sign up for spots right now.
Okay. I'm happy to sign up.
You can sign up for as many as you want to. You're just going to be going door to door and then getting everyone's name, signature, address, phone number, and email.
Okay, I'll do from Scenic going towards the library.
Yeah, well, she said we're on.
I can do that. I can do Bluebell. I
Consideration.
walk it every day. So
Oh, you mean all of Bluebell?
yeah, got no problem with that. I walk it every day.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be awesome. That's a
wonderful.
lot. So Sergio, I guess you can add
4, 5,
Renee.
6, and 7.
4, 5, 6, and 7.
Bluebell. Yep, I'll do it. No problem.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that is
perfect. Yeah,
great.
thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
That's gonna be a lot of work.
No, I
Well,
don't have a problem. I want to get this. I've got kids playing in the courts, I don't want them to get hit. I've had
And
car
Renee, did
accidents.
you already privately message me with your contact information?
I've contacted you guys, but I don't know if it was.
Yeah, we have her information, but can you please send us for this specific project your information again, Renee?
Yeah, so
Because I know that you've been involved in the Springtown Community Park and this golf course project, and we know that you're a valued resident out there.
okay, so yeah, I'll contact you guy. And your name is who? Jorge?
No, this is Roberto.
Roberto. Okay, Roberto. I'll
Please
contact.
contact
You gotta
Sergio.
contact Sergio though. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta for the purpose of this project and or this program, please contact Sergio. He's our point of contact, please.
Okay, I will contact Sergio. Thank you. Appreciate you guys, by the way. Thank you.
Is there a contact name or a phone number and email for Sergio?
Sergio, can you put your email address and phone number on the, not phone number, put your email address on the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, if you can privately message Sergio in this meeting and then outside the meeting, please email Christina, right? Christina.
yeah, and my email will be at the end of the presentation.
So do we contact Sergio?
Yeah, we need to have one point of contact. Can you please identify that?
Well, for the
Thank you.
purpose of this meeting, I am the one who's taking contact information, but after this meeting, I will not be dealing
Yeah.
with this project.
So
Yeah,
just
so
contact him
Sergio.
during this duration until the PowerPoint presentation's over, and then after that you can contact me.
Well, yeah. So sorry, this is Todd. I'm a resident too. I'm asking the question of who's in charge because I don't really feel like I support this endeavor, and I want to make sure that my voice is heard as well.
Yeah,
I-
Christina.
Yeah, I'm the lead on this. So why do you not support it?
I don't feel like it kind of does what you are intending to do, which is just divert traffic somewhere else. I mean, I feel like if the issue is the issue, we feel like people are just speeding too fast down Bluebell, or what's driving this?
There are speeding concerns.
Okay. And in the last 15 years that I've lived here, I think there's different ways to approach, protecting the citizens and making sure that speed limit's enforced. I have never, ever seen a police officer pull anybody over on that street. So I feel like before we start putting in, speed bumps and we start blocking traffic and putting people up over the freeway to get into Springtown, which is going to happen with all this slowing down, I think maybe that could be explored.
Generate more money for the city. too.
So I'm across from Azalea Court, and we have had police there multiple times. The last time was probably 2 weeks ago. They didn't pull anybody over. All he did was honk to let them know, hey, I'm here. I notice you're speeding. But, you know, I do know there has been cops there throughout the years to
Yeah.
enforce.
Well, as much as everybody's speeding, you think it'd be beneficial for the city to have the officers start writing tickets.
I absolutely agree. And I don't feel like adding a bunch of speed bumps. If you count the speed bumps you've got listed there, there's and the houses on the street, like Bluebell, let's take that for instance. There's 13 houses facing Bluebell on the east side. You're proposing 13 speed bumps. That's one per house. So I feel like it's a little bit of an overkill on what you're trying to do here, and it's just going to push everybody to go up the other way and speed down the other street. It's not really going to solve the problem, let alone like you're going to cause more traffic, more congestion, everybody's slowing down. I mean, for people that have lived in Springtown, you know that as you come over the freeway in the afternoon, it's already backed up. So imagine how it's going to be now when you can't even get in that right lane to turn right. You're going to push traffic up and over. So I don't think you've done a traffic study to realize how that's going to impact this side of town.
And well, that's why we are going to be implementing other traffic calming devices and looking in this other parts of the Springtown area and looking into that a bit further. As Joanna mentioned earlier, we are just trying to reduce the speed back to what the speed limit is, which is 25 miles per hour.
Well, I think the only way you're gonna do that though, because it's gonna increase drivers to take an alternative route, like Sunflower Court. So yeah, I don't think you're accomplishing what you want to.
There's so many speed bumps that you're putting in here. Like, I mean, obviously you can tell from my opinion that I'm 100% against it. And I'll take Bluebell and go get signatures against what we're talking about here. Like, there's got to be a different way than riddling Springtown with speed bumps everywhere.
And when
I think maybe the police need to start enforcing a little bit.
as the park opens up, there's gonna be even more traffic.
And further to what Todd's saying about the traffic being back up, I've seen it being backed up to the freeway and onto the freeway. People
Yeah.
trying to get in to the
Yeah.
neighborhood. So
Yeah.
it's just not the street or the overpass.
And that's a scary
I-
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have kids too. My kids are small as well, and I don't want people speeding past parks. I would love for the police to take a little bit more interest in helping people remember that this is a community where we live. Everybody that's driving down the street lives here. It's not like it's really a pass through. That's Vasco. So people live here. So they should care. Sometimes they just need a reminder, and a $100 ticket may do the trick.
No. Sorry, sir, but I've been here for years and there's tons of people who cut through to get over on Scenic and then
I
jump
live
over
on
Vasco.
I live on Idlewild. I'm like really close to Vasco. I can actually see it from my roof, and this is definitely a pass through.
Mhm.
We were gridlocked a couple weeks ago because of a tanker that wrecked. I mean, I couldn't go out of my house. I couldn't leave my house because I couldn't come back because it was gridlocked for 4.5 hours. We are definitely a pass through.
That was a
Thank you.
different scenario. To get around, that was a different scenario. Everybody was going everywhere.
This
No,
is a
it's
common
not
thing.
every day,
This
dude.
happens like any
Every
holiday,
day.
right before a holiday. This happens quite often.
I don't know
Yeah.
where you live, but
Actually, yeah, so sorry to jump in. So actually, we did the analysis and back in 2020, and as part of the 2020 traffic calming program, the city staff based on the street, so basically it's a cut through data. So it's a connected vehicle and all the what is it called? Big data. So the term is a big data. So based on the big data, and we analyze the cut through traffic, also analyze and did a speed survey and analyze the speed, and based on all these factors, come up with a priority. So Bluebell Drive does have quite a bit of cut through. we can pull up the data if you're interested in. And so it's not there's a so and not only Bluebell in the Springtown area, there's a significant of cut-through traffic.
That warrants 18 speed bumps to be added.
We can as what we mentioned earlier, and so this is just the first try, first the preliminary design.
Like
If
a
we get
pilot
comments,
project.
if we get comments from a lot of residents like you guys and saying that this is too much for you, and we can revise the design, we can space them out and to up to 500. So maybe right now, if we're proposing 13 sets, and we can reduce to five or six.
So I don't quite understand. I mean, this
Mhm.
isn't going to cause people to go 40 miles an hour. It's going to cause them to slow down and do the actual speed limit, correct?
Yes.
So what's the
That's a
point,
good question.
people?
That's a good question because
Sorry,
how big are these?
I'm
If you've
gonna
driven
say
Buena
something,
Vista,
so.
you know how bad those are.
No, they're not big, huge bumps. They're just a gradual guide over. Just a like, hey, reminder. It's a reminder.
Seems like 18 is a little bit more than a
It'll
reminder.
slow you down.
Well, if you
That's
have
the one that hit
children,
that
you'd
one.
understand.
May I add that the cut through traffic is not just for this area, okay? I mean, if you live in the Concannon corridor or any of the other corridors, unfortunately, it's everywhere, okay? And so, uh, uh, you know, we really gotta focus on the pedestrian safety aspect and speed reduction element that these improvements would bring to the community, okay? The uh, cut through traffic that's going to Brentwood or vice versa or wherever they're going home is a global issue, okay? And this project is not going to solve that. I'll tell you that right now, because as you know, we're in the hotspot 580 corridor. The Vasco, corridor is another one, and so on. And just bear in mind that the city does not have a capacity at this point to solve all the issues out there, and but we are, aware of them, and that's why we're having this meeting to talk about it, so we could do it in a structured manner, and so we
So
cannot
yeah,
solve everything.
so actually to add on Roberto, and the city's neighborhood traffic calming program is to try to reduce the cut through the neighborhood, and we try to encourage everybody use the arterial. So arterial is if they use like a freeway traffic,
Yeah,
if they can use arterial like a Vasco and Vasco Road, and
that's the idea. Yes.
instead of going through the neighborhood,
Mhm.
that's the purpose of this
Yeah,
program.
we're
So
targeting those folks.
yeah, so we are trying to helping the neighborhood helping the neighborhood to be safer, and also the traffic is calming. So there's no less noise and less gas emission, and also it's safer for the kids uh walking on the sidewalk, or even bicyclists walking riding on
and
the
and
streets.
and this program has flexibility like you mentioned on the spacing, right? That it's not set in stone, and so that's why we need your input, the collective input, and then we can treat this as a pilot, project, right? That's going to set the tone for maybe other neighborhoods that have the same, detriment. And so that's just, something that to keep in mind, okay?
Thank you.
And yeah, and also one thing to add on, since speed cushion we propose is a temporary I cannot say temporary. It's not concrete or asphalt. It's a rubber form. So it's a rubber, and so it's bolted down to the ground. And uh if in the future most of the residents do not like it, and you want to take it out, you can sign on a petition again and to the city, and we can take it out.
How raised is this structure?
Hmm?
How high is it? How
The
How
height?
high? Christina, do you have the
3
dimension?
inches.
3
3
inches.
inches.
3 inches?
Yeah, yeah. Like the pedestrian crossings that are raised and that have the rapid flashing beacons, those are for sure 3 inches high, and those would also be used by folks that will be using the disc golf course, and so it
Yeah,
has
and the
dual
speed
benefit.
the speed cushions are how high?
3 inches.
3 inches also?
Yeah,
And they're made out of rubber,
Rubber.
Yes, rubber.
which is gonna give too.
yeah. It's going to help with suspension, right?
Well, it's gonna decrease in height because of the weight of the vehicle going over it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the point is we're trying to help people who live in the neighborhood, who have children, who deal with this daily, survive. I've seen 4 car crashes in my court due to this stuff.
I still
So
think the presence of a police officer out on a regular basis would do more good than these rubber speed.
Yeah, you know, from
More
the city's
uniforms, yeah.
perspective, we can certainly ask the police department to,
we've done
have a little
that.
bit more presence out there. Joanna, can you please, and Christina, can you please, let police department know that we want a little bit more presence in that area because,
Yes.
that's
Generate more
something
money for
that,
the city too.
yeah, we can certainly do that. You just gotta bear in mind that that's not a permanent thing. It's something that is temporary, yeah, until it gets curtailed and then they maybe have to go back again. But that's once again a citywide issue but we could certainly talk to the police department on it, okay, to come out there and be more active out there.
Like I said, we had a police officer literally a week and a half ago sit in Azalea Court, and I went across the street. I talked to him, very nice gentleman, had no issue with him, but all he did is if somebody drove by, he honked to
Well,
let him know that he was there.
why is that? I mean, shouldn't they be writing tickets to help eliminate this problem?
We did that before. It didn't eliminate anything. You have to understand, people, that these are people who want to get home to Brentwood. They don't care.
Okay, so that causes them to go ahead and speed then.
Yeah.
Okay. But don't you think a little fine, a stiff fine would be more productive than a speed bump?
They have somebody there between 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday.
Well,
Christina, can you let us know what the next steps are, or if there are more folks that would like to provide their input?
Well, I have a question first, and I'm not arguing in any way, shape, or form that it's not a safety issue, nor is it a traffic flow issue. I think what I've heard is that it's just, we're talking about how many, and before you stated that if people were concerned with that, they could submit their concerns or comments. How do we do that? Because it sounds like the people going through the neighborhood would be only collecting signatures for.
Oh, I'm going to be collecting against because I'm 100% against what you guys are trying to do. I know
Well,
everyone's trying to convince
how do we
themselves.
do that, or how do we submit our concerns that we'd like to see something different, not
That's
gone,
Okay.
but different?
You can send me an
Email.
email.
Yeah, please email Christina.
Yeah, that would be now because that's why we're doing
Right.
this
We have to
public
sign up for the
information
usual one.
so that then we can get your feedback. So that's the purpose of this meeting.
carry on. Mr.
Yeah, but can
I'm
somebody
sorry,
answer?
so please say it again where we send it.
You can just email it to me. I can leave my email in the chat too then.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Please do.
Christina is the point of contact for this effort.
Christina, do you just want me to show the last slide now?
We still need to get volunteers though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finish that.
So we need volunteers to go to all the homes here and try to get as many signatures. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and say something and we'll add your name to the list.
I'm Renee, Rene.
Mhm.
What else do you need?
And I think Sergio already has your contact info. So I'll send you another follow-up email about all that shows all the street addresses to go to.
I actually don't see it in the chat.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I
I'm
only see
Renee.
very few actually.
Do you mind sending your contact info to Sergio?
Renee?
Yeah.
Um, well, it would be, where do is his information somewhere? I can find
Chat.
it.
In
So
the
if
chat.
yeah,
So if you go click on the chat and then change the two to to Sergio, you can
Oh,
privately message him.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And Christina, just for clarity, is this a form to where we're saying, hey, whether we're doing it or not, or is this just kind of eye candy and you decided you're doing it no matter what we say?
No, we need 60% of the vote, so it's all based on you, all of you. So we're not going to try to push for one or the other. It's based on what the public wants.
A question.
Mhm.
Who gets to vote?
Just all the residents.
Homeowner.
Christina,
You,
Sergio, can you show the boundary?
Yeah.
is it this one?
No, there's one on the PowerPoint.
I just would like to say,
Yeah,
for
so
a
everyone that's in this neighborhood boundary will get a vote. So that includes the apartments too,
why would non-homeowners get a vote?
because they are affected by the speed cushions when they go to work.
So what is the statistical effect of adding these bumps to the property to reducing the property value of our homes? So I'm a homeowner and I've been here over 40 years. And I want to, what is the data you collected by installing these speed bumps to the reduction of the value of the homes or increased value? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, so we looked at speeding, collision history, pedestrian generators. So how many pedestrians are in that area, if there's schools nearby, churches, parks, and then how many homes are in that area. Because like what Joanna said earlier, we do want to try to have people uh, go on the arterial routes rather than driving through residential areas to get somewhere.
Well, he was
So
just
you're
asking
giving
about the
people who
property
are
values going down.
non-homeowners a vote.
We're just giving we're pretty much letting those who are near the speed cushions make that decision.
So when you collect these signatures, do we have to put people's address next to their name?
Yeah, so we know who you spoke with.
And what about the people like, so if this is going to push traffic over onto Springtown Boulevard and people are going to come around the backside, what about all of those folks? They're also irrelevant.
Um, well, when we decided on this boundary, we had to come up with a cutoff point, and we looked at which areas would be affected by the speed cushions the most.
So the answer to that was yes. You're just looking like, even if you're pushing traffic over into their area, they don't really get a say.
Well, as I said earlier, we are looking at the whole Springtown area, so that'll be the next project after this one.
To riddle the whole Springtown area with speed bumps everywhere.
It won't be speed bumps, so each street will be different. There'll probably be a different traffic control device depending on what the street looks like.
What different devices besides speed bumps and raised sidewalks?
Yeah, so there are.
So we can because that's the next project, so we can really decide whether it's which kind of traffic control devices or the measures could be implemented in each of the other Springtown streets that is ranked high. And also we can't guarantee it can pass through 60% of the residents petition the votes yet. So That's still unknown.
Yeah, I guess you do understand that people that you're going to push off of Bluebell are going to go over to Springtown Boulevard and go around that back way, right? But those neighborhoods up there, just if these go through, just deal with it until you go
So,
extra over there.
actually, yeah, so actually we are trying to reducing the cutting through. If you think of like people try to cut through Springtown, cut through to avoid Bluebell and cut through Springtown, where are they going? They have like a longer way, right?
Yeah.
To cut.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
understand the premise, but I just feel like some of the stuff that
mhm.
I am concerned with isn't really being addressed. Like you're slowing the emergency response times for, medical
Oh, we're
people.
not slowing them down since there's gaps in these speed cushions.
Okay, well, as a paramedic, it's still not a good thing to have to worry about. So that's one thing. You're also making traffic congestion that's going to be a serious problem going across. But I think you're thinking that people will just stop using it. So you're hoping that that one just goes away. We're
Yeah.
kind of ignoring the bicyclists and the motorcyclists that have to deal with these new speed bumps. Hopefully, we don't cause more accidents there.
Uh,
We're not
aren't
even
we
trying to enforce the speed
causing
limit as
people
it
to
is.
slow down, Todd? Or isn't that the goal to cause people to slow down? I
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, they need to drive the speed limit. So let's enforce the speed limit instead of riddling all of Livermore with
Dude,
these
we've
speed
done
bumps.
this for how many years? I don't know how long you've lived here, but I've been here for 30 years and nothing works. So this is the best option I think we have.
Okay, I disagree.
And Christina, I would like to add something on this subject. That I want to let you know that the city of Livermore that we are working on, redoing the Basco interchange, right? We have that in the city CIP project program, and so the city, from a regional transportation perspective, we are very proactive about it. I mean, we did the State Route 84 improvements to move all of the cut-through traffic that was going through downtown to the Isabel corridor. And, we are now going to embark on also doing some other interchanges, which is the Vasco is the interchange is the next one. And so I would like to let everybody know that we do have that in the out years. It's not gonna happen in the next year or so, but it's under, process. And so the city does have other programs that where we are addressing also, the this heavy, traffic in the area. And
That's the root cause right there is
mhm,
Vasco. If
mhm,
Vasco is a 4-lane road, and that's
mhm.
obviously outside of our ability to impact, right?
Yeah,
Once it moves down.
and then Todd, you just reminded me, we have another project, the widening of Basco Road, right? By at the edge of
Yeah.
town. And
Near,
so
near between
that
Garand Ranch and Dalton.
exactly where it's only a single lane, and now we're gonna make it a 2 lane. And so I just, want to inform you all because we're, involved with these things that the city is actually very good at addressing the regional, like, most cities they concentrate only on their own problems, right, like the local problems, but Livermore, let me tell you, is very proactive in um also addressing the regional traffic backups.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to say, have you guys ever tried contacting Waze and Google Maps and tell them to eliminate the suggestion of having people come through Springtown as a bypass? I know other cities have done it. You can contact those guys and tell them to, take it off as the city of Livermore versus an individual citizen, saying that, because I know they've done that before, especially back in on the East Coast. They've had a lot of those big cities have, told them to take out, the neighborhoods as a bypass, to keep people out of there. Because whoever talked before that lives on Iris Street, I think he said, he's right. Because I live here in Springtown on Aquarius, and trying to go up, trying to get out of here sometime with the, traffic so backed up. I lived here for 40 years. It's a mess. And so I know some people, you always got people that are against things and for things. I think the city of Livermore just ought to do it. You know, it's better to ask for forgiveness than get permission to do something. You know, put down the speed bumps. It's only 3 inches. I mean, it's nothing major, you know?
Thank
So, you know, and then as far as the police, you know, you can't have a cop sit there 24/7 because people speed 24/7. I walk my dog up Bluebell in the morning and from Wisteria north, and you guys have those speed signs sitting out in the street, and nobody ever goes at 25. Everybody's 37 and above. You know, so you got to do something. You know, even with speed signs, they just ignore them. They got the little flashing red and blue lights. I mean, you know, people just, you know, blow them off, you know.
But that same statement can be
So,
made for the entire town of Livermore or Pleasanton or Dublin. Like 18 speed bumps within a 1 mile radius is ridiculous.
but
you know,
it's
you could do like they did at one intersection off College Ave, put in roundabouts. You know, that
well,
slows
that
people
would
down.
affect the fire department way worse than these speed bumps, and that's my concern too. I agree with Todd on that. So, but,
So
And on that
if we're
subject,
talking about
I would like to just mention that the city we did consult with the fire marshal. Is that correct, Christina?
Yeah. And they were okay with the speed cushions because there are those gaps, so it won't delay them much. But they weren't a fan of the traffic circles.
So if traffic circles are off, and that's fine if the fire department says no, I understand they have big trucks that they have to drive through. Um, I guess my other question is, have we considered just stop signs? You know, people have to stop every block. They're going to drive slower. And that seems less disruptive to me as somebody who lives on scenic than having my car go up and down 10 times as I go down the street.
Well, for us to install a stop sign, they will have to meet all the warrants for it.
So again, to add on, stop sign actually is not a traffic calming tool. It's supposed to be the traffic control. So it's to control the traffic who's going first, and rather than stopping the traffic or calming the traffic.
you would make more of a problem if you did that, in a sense, I think.
I don't understand how putting a stop sign at the corner of Wisteria makes people not slow down as they drive through. And I would be willing to bet that a lot of people turn onto Wisteria and Sunflower Court, and not very many people continue down Bluebell. I don't know. You know, I would love to see the city study this actually. Where do people go when they come down Bluebell? Are they turning off on
They'll go up Heather.
Are they turning off onto Wisteria? Are they turning off onto Heather? Are they going all the way to Scenic? I don't know. I certainly see a lot of traffic on Bluebell, and I see a lot of people coming out. But
Well, since I
you
live
know,
off of Scenic, I know they go up Heather, and I know they go down up to Scenic too.
yeah, I'm sure some of them do, but like what percentage? You know, like how many people? And can I just put a stop sign at the corner of Wisteria or at the corner of Heather, and you know, slow people down enough so that 90% of people are going to stop and turn right? That's probably fine. You know, I don't need speed bumps on the other half of Heather or the other half of Bluebell. I just again I think, you know, one of the things I'm getting out of this is I think maybe not all the options have been considered, and I'm certainly, you know, I'm willing to admit that there's a speed problem, but I don't know that putting a bunch of speed humps is the right solution. You know, what other solutions can we think about?
We found that there was speeding along the whole stretch, so it's from Scenic all the way down.
And I live in the middle of that, and we get people on the average of 45 miles an hour. And I've
That's
got
objectively false,
kids.
Renee. They told you that the 85th percentile was 35. And I understand your concern because you live in the middle of it, but you can't make up facts.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'd like to add something. I've lived on Bluebell, kind of like Renee, just over 30 years. Closer to Scenic. Stop signs, I support the pillows more than the stop sign, because people blow through stop signs if they don't pay any attention to them. If you have something that's an obstacle, they don't have a choice. You have something that's there 24/7, they don't have a choice. I have been passed on Bluebell on my right side and my left side for doing between 25 and 30 people passing me. I'm terrified sometimes trying to get in and out of my driveway because people just have no regard for other people's safety. I mean, if you want to take yourself out, that's one thing, but don't take me with you. I support this program. I see it as a phased approach, not only on Bluebell, but through all of Springtown and beyond. And it's, from what I'm hearing tonight, there is some adaptability to this. I support this 100%. And it is, while the cut through traffic is definitely a problem, it is also our neighbors. We all need to slow down, and we're not going to do it. And I'm speaking in big picture. Some people are just not going to slow down until they're forced to slow down. And so I support this. I don't see other alternatives because that's just the way it is right now.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
So we looking at the comments, yes, we'll talk to Waze and Google about their routes, and then we can also look into installing a stop sign in Wisteria and seeing if it meets the warrants. Sergio, can we go back to that spreadsheet?
What you guys ought to do is on Bluebell, where it goes to Heather, put in one of those flashing signs because you can't even cross the street sometimes. There's so many people coming up the road. Nobody gives you the right of way to for pedestrians to cross the street. Especially little kids. They're standing there with their school books and bicycles wanting to cross, and everybody's zooming right past them. Like they're not even there.
This is at what side street? Can you please repeat?
On Heather, if
At
you go
Heather?
north on Bluebell, Heather's going to be on your right hand side, right there, that intersection.
Oh, okay.
And I think that they need to go through and enforce, is it called the daylighting law? About the cars parked 20 feet away from a crosswalk?
Mhm.
Because there are cars right there at that intersection. And I believe that's why they can't see the children trying to cross the crosswalk.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Or else
could.
during school hours, put a crossing guard at that intersection so the kids can cross. One of them little kids is going to get killed,
Well,
from
yeah,
people
some
cutting through
kid
there.
got hit last year, I believe. But that intersection, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that the street that a lot of the traffic from the temple come down? And I don't have anything against the temple. I'm just saying that it's additional traffic on that road.
Well,
I think
there's
that's only
additional
1 or 2
traffic because of the
days.
commute stuff, but I think when there's events at the temples, I've seen where the police have the freeway, big signs telling them to go down to Vasco and go up
Yeah.
Vasco and come around that way.
I do give credit to the temple for trying to notify the neighbors that they're having some event.
And that's not very often, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think they're fine.
Yeah, thank you for the great comments. And actually, if I think.
So Renee, are you willing to ask the open question? And you're going to show, I'm sure you're going to ask for signatures, even though you know that I oppose it. I would be interested to know if people would be willing to consider the question of like, would you be interested in a reduced number? Because again, I think 18 is crazy. So we want to talk about like 2 or 3 or some sort of more realistic number instead of just going all out. Because this
I'm
right here,
totally
this whole
cool
list
with
right here
that,
gives
Paul.
me, yeah.
Totally cool with that. We just need something from the point of where the first stop sign is off of Springtown Boulevard, turning on to Bluebell. I think it's Wisteria. Going all the way down to Scenic. From that point to Scenic is where we're having problems. That's where the speeding, because everybody's trying to cut through. And so, yeah, no, I have no problem with that.
You're saying you think that the problem is from Wisteria down Scenic or down Bluebell to Scenic, or going up Heather?
Well, it's
Because if it's
basic.
cut through, it's Heather.
Okay, yeah.
Then
You
wouldn't we want to put, if you're going to put any devices, I would say you put them before Wisteria. If that wouldn't that be, then there's
Depends
no.
on how far up Bluebell you live to see all the action. If you live real close to, the where it turns off into, right from Springtown Boulevard into Bluebell, if you live closer to that end than north, you're not going to see all the traffic that we see way up at the top, you know. So there's a big difference,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess, depending on
it's
where you live.
Actually,
everywhere.
actually, the city collect the before and after counts for the tier 1 traffic calming measure. And before and after we collect the data at 3 data points, at south section and middle section and the north section. So all 3 sections have the speeding issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we'd be able to count the
it's
number
a
of vehicles.
it's a global problem. This is not a localized issue. It's everywhere, and so people are gonna scramble everywhere and readjust even after the everything is in place. And so, um, uh, the the idea right here is to start a pilot project, and as Joanna mentioned and Christina mentioned, is that it's flexible. We're not set in stone, and that's why we're getting the public meeting is for getting your feedback on on that aspect of it. And even afterwards, you can still voice information. It's we're open to getting comments from you, and we can even after it's installed. Joanna, I mean, can you say, hey, we maybe installed too many, can we remove some? Can you accommodate that or not?
I believe it's when we install before, so we can accommodate that during the design phase. And so after we install it, and if people don't like it, and so people can sign a petition again, and we can remove the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah, so the process allows you, even if it didn't work for some reason after everybody thought it was a great idea, the process still allows you to go back and say, no, we don't want this after all, right?
Well,
Yeah.
kind of. You have to do 60% to get it, but then you got to do 60% to get rid of it, probably, right? So if
Yeah.
you're going to try a pilot program in my mind would be more of like we try a section. So instead of going from the turn all the way down, why wouldn't we just try the first section up to Wisteria or something like that instead of doing all of these and see if the point is to stop traffic cutting through, well then make that first section the non-ideal section, and in theory all the traffic that cuts through is gone, and what's remaining is the people that live here, and let's give them tickets.
Well, the problem is from Wisteria to Scenic. Okay, so you got the stop sign, and that's where people go. From that point on, they continue on all the way up to Scenic, and that's where the speed ramps up. So by the time they get to my area, and like I said, I live in a court area, and we've got 6 children playing, and I've had 3 car accidents, and not me personally, but I've seen them in my court. Um, so that's the problem, is how do we correct that problem? The speeding from where the stop sign is all the way to Scenic, because people who live out towards, Tracy, Vasco, whatever, they know that cut route. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, if you want to try something, I think the trying is less invasive than this. You want to put some between Sunflower and Wisteria and see if that makes it too crazy. But going Sunflower, Wisteria, all the way down. I mean, who knows? Are we going to add them to Scenic next?
Right. I respect that. I'd be willing to do 3 areas, but at least something to, especially where there's cross streets of courts and cross streets where people are trying to cross a street, and you've got trails, you've got the, dog park. You've got all kinds of stuff. Springtown. And now that they're building, it's just going to get busier.
What was the purpose of the calming lanes you put in? Was that to slow traffic?
A calming lane, you mean adding a additional buffer, bike lane buffer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the idea is to naturally slow the people down because before the lane width was 13 feet each direction, and we try to slow the people down by naturally narrow the lane. But
That just
unfortunately,
makes it more
it
dangerous.
narrow. Yeah, it only the slow the traffic down from 40 miles per hour down to 35. So it seems like people still can comfortably drive at 35 miles per hour with 11 feet lane. So and also I believe police department they do show up. It's on their schedule. They do show up every week or every other week over there.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
So
not enough. I mean, I
it
haven't seen it.
sounds like, to Renee's point, that
Mm-hmm.
we do have a lot of things in Springtown, such as parks and, dog trails or whatever. And there are a lot of options for places for children to go and play.
Yeah, and then we're now going to be building a brand new community park out there as well, right? I would like to suggest something in the interest of time. From all the folks that are participating tonight, does anybody else want to be a captain so that we could put them on this list that we have?
Yeah, that's important because we need 699.
Yes, we would like to take the opportunity that you're already here. And so if you would please let us know if you are interested or not, that would be great.
I'm still against you.
No, you will take down your comments. Your comments are just as good as anybody else. Everybody is, has a different position on everything. And so everybody, we are going to listen to everybody, including Todd and all the other folks that are, impacted by these improvements.
And I guess, Renee, when you go out to talk to people, you could also add a comment section with the address and that person's info and say what they
Yes.
brought up, like
Yeah,
if they
please.
want us to reduce the number of speed cushions.
I honestly, I've lived here so long and I walk pretty much every day. I know majority of the people along from basically scenic all the way down to the library. So
Yeah,
I know.
so if you can, as what Christina mentioned, if you can add a comment session so that people can comment on whether they want to reduce the number of sets of cushions we proposed, that would
Yeah.
be, yeah.
No problem. I just want something to happen. So yeah, I've got no problem with that. And yep.
Any other volunteers?
Yeah, we need more captains. We have too many chiefs. That's why.
I'm sure I can route some up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Renee. We really appreciate your involvement in this effort. This is for the best of, we really want to improve pedestrian safety out there, and so we are aware of it, and so that's why we're doing something about it.
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And I respect Todd's concerns. So gotcha, Todd.
Okay. I just don't want to, I mean, I don't want to cause more damage to my vehicle. Maybe I need to slow down too, but like, I don't know. It just seems so overwhelming to me to see so many in one tiny area and wondering if this means all of Livermore now is going to become like a roller coaster.
I don't think that's your concern, sir. I don't think you have to worry about that. And yeah, no. And maybe you could slow down. That would help.
Okay, so um We can, so make sure to leave your contact info with Sergio, and I can follow up with everyone again and see if there's any more volunteers for all these streets.
All right. And I'll contact you and see if there's anybody else to join.
Okay, thanks. So I guess we can go back to the PowerPoint slide.
Okay,
That
question,
slide.
Christina, is there gonna be a second like outreach meeting?
Yeah, we do have one, and that's in the following, on the following slide. So if you click on the
Oh,
next
okay.
slide. Okay, so our next meeting will be on Wednesday, January 21st at 6:30 p.m. But this time we're going to be meeting in person at Andrew and Christensen Middle School multipurpose room. And there we're going to present all the petition results. So as I mentioned earlier, we'll need it by Friday, January 16th, but earlier is better. So we can continue to improve the design. And then we're just going to share that design along with any revisions back based on your input. And then we're hoping to have this constructed in around spring or summer 2026. But again, it depends on your vote. So we can go to the next page.
You want me, because I'm the only one volunteering at this point, to get people to sign the petition by January 16th or earlier, correct?
Yeah, the earliest you can, the better it is for us.
All right. And who do I contact, Sergio or you?
Now you can just contact me. So here's my contact information. Oh, my email's not on there. That's important. It's so it's in the
Well, I can find that. That's
yeah.
easy. All
It's
right.
in the chat too, and I'll make sure to add it to this PowerPoint before we upload it.
Since you're going to probably upload it, make sure that you add your email in there and
Yeah.
put that you're the point of contact, please, because we only want to have one point of contact.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So at this point, from my knowledge, I thought I was supposed to contact Sergio.
Just for this meeting, but for the project or the program, everybody please contact Christina.
Okay, so for me, being the person who's going to do the walking and talking, I contact Christina, correct?
That's
Yes.
correct. Yes.
So again, name, address, or name, signature, address, phone number, email, and their comments.
Okay, got it. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you,
beautiful.
everyone.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really like, everybody's participation.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, just feel free to contact us. And then if you want to get more involved, just make sure to send us your contact info and I'll send this out or post this online.
All right. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.